Ladies and gentlemen,
let's get started.
I have thought a lot in the last 24 hours.
Time to get your weekly sports fix.
By the skin of their teeth, they lost.
Then you can just ride it the whole thing.
With Stix.
Keeping things moving. And this time we're going to get into the MLB playoff chase a little bit this time because it's starting to shape up. Who's in? Who's out? Who still got a shot? I don't know. I mean, well, actually, we do know. We do know because it is clear cut right now. We're going to let y'all tell you how it's breaking down.
We hope it's clear cut.
Yeah. You're going to have to refresh my memory on the bracket situation, the way it lays out with those guys again, because and let the people know too. The NFL still holds down the title as the undisputed champion of unpredictability, bro. That's just what it is. Okay. Yes, and it happens again, week 2 stories. We're going to come bring those to you. Recap that bum ass Thursday night football game we saw last night. And then the rest of the week 3 matchups. But first, let's check in with Stix, the sharp one. Let's find out what he's been doing at the counter this summer, you know what I mean, with MLB, because that's all he's been telling me is that he's an MLB sharp now. So I'm gonna listen to his MLB insight. And I might jump in a little bit, tell you a little bit of what we look for when we go in and we consider some of these sports wagers. And hey, ain't nothing better than telling you what has been going on with the This Is Funner Fantasy Football League. Okay, for y'all professionals out there, all that and more on the Sports Fix with Stix and the anonymous big homie.
Well, as you referenced to Anonymous big homie, we were on a nice little run for the last month there.
Yes, sir.
Hit a little bump in the road last week.
Oh, it is. You get 3 weeks and they want to give you the 4th one. They don't want to give you the 4th one.
Yeah. So the first 5, the MLB F5, what you call it, first 5 play has been pretty damn successful. I wish I had the numbers like I used to keep last year, but I guess got too depressed keeping all those numbers because we'd have a good week, then we'd have a bad week and all that. But
look, take it from me, people. It's been working. He on to something, and I want to know what he's doing. So what do you do when you look at F5 for MLB and you're looking at that play, because it's not a full game play. It's literally just the score for the first 5 innings. It's like a shortened game, basically, is what you're playing.
Right. And then you don't have to wait. You don't have to wait out and in my opinion, you don't have to wait out the whole game.
Yeah.
And then you don't have to put your trust into a bullpen, right? You know, that has
that's what I wanted to get into. So you're really looking at who's starting that day, right?
What I focus on is really who the starter is for Team A and Team B, the starters for that, right? Team A, Team B. And, you look at it and, for example, if you got, Justin Verlander on the mound, right, who's however many wins he has, like 13 or whatever, you have a pretty good feeling that he's not going to give up too many hits and typically not give up a whole lot of runs in the first innings, the first few innings, right? And you have the offense of the Houston Astros that typically will put up a couple runs before the first 5. I mean, they're not almost 100-win team for no reason, right? So it's in all aspects of it. Yes, technically, I really look at the starting pitchers from each side, and then I try to look at the offense of the last few days of if that team that I'm going to roll with, how has their offense been going the last few days in the first, second, third, 4th inning, right? Because, they also, not to get off subject, but they also have a play where you could bet no runs first inning, right? We were on that a little bit earlier this year where we hit a couple, but then it kind of fades away because I got into the F5 because once you get through the half of the year, now these teams, a lot of teams aren't really playing for much. So and then there's teams that are playing for a playoff berth, right? And going for milestones for the year. So it kind of gets, in my opinion, gets a lot easier towards the second half of the year. So when you're looking at the runs from the team, for the team that you're going to roll with, You
Mhm.
could check out the last few days. If it's the same series, that's even better because I mean, I look at it like if it's a 3-game series and it's game 2 and they definitely scored some runs in the first 5 for your team against, whoever they were playing, then that day I'm like, oh, cool. If they scored 2 or 3 runs in the first 5 innings, I have a good feeling that they're going to score 2 or 3 runs again, depending, you obviously have to evaluate the opposing pitcher as well.
Right.
It's going to be tough to go, if you have, for example, Justin Verlander and Robbie Ray, right? Just to throw Robbie Ray out there,
Right.
it's hard to determine. Like that's a game I'd just stay away, right? Because both pitchers could be dominant or one could
Yeah.
get shelled. But at that time too, the third part of it is what I look at is so the starting pitchers, the previous games, the team they're playing, and then maybe that was it. There might have been another stipulation,
Oh,
but
don't worry
that's all
about
good.
it.
Yeah.
Oh, let me clarify real quick. So the play is actually a total runs play
I know
between
what you're saying.
both teams, right?
Mhm.
But I just want to verify that, just to
Oh, you said
clarify
what?
that the play is actually first 5 innings, total runs for both teams. So
That's
it's
what I was
team
gonna say. Yep.
total runs. That was
Yeah,
okay.
and then the nice thing about that play is what I was referencing to was if you pick if it's a money line bet, most of the time I just take the money line. However, there's also the plus a half or minus a half. So if you it's just like a regular full game bet, right? Like if you think someone's gonna win the first 5 money line, you could bet the money line, or they have the plus half where if it's tied in the 5th inning and you got
Mhm.
the plus half, you're a winner. If it's tied in the 5th inning and you got the minus half, you're a loser. If it's tied in the 5th inning and you have a money line bet, it pushes. So, for example, we've had a couple 3-team parlays, right? 3-teamers where we have the 3 teams, 2 of them win, one of them's tied. We don't get the full 3-teamer, but we still got two for 2 teamer.
Right.
The
You don't get
2-teamer,
all the odds,
which is nice because
right.
we had it down there for a little bit. So hopefully
Yeah,
that clarifies everything for the people out there.
yeah, that's a backdoor way to stay in the game. And like I always try to tell the dude Stix, man, and I'm always a dude who always like to dive in a little bit. And there's always a lot of resources out there, because if you're putting some money down, you're really going to the counter and trying to make something happen. You don't want to be just like scratching off a lottery ticket, right? You know what I mean? You want to have a little bit more information than just putting your number on putting your money on a number. And there's a lot of spots out there. Shout out to Evan Analytics. They'll break it down like this. This is a real quick test in the jump off section, real quick for Stick. Who do you think, based on what you know this year, because I have Evan's numbers up for ATS, okay, first innings total. Who's one of your teams you would say is the most over?
In first inning runs scored?
Yeah, first 5.
Oh, first 5.
Yeah, first
runs
5.
scored.
So it's just like my hockey bet that I used to put down, right?
Yeah.
So is what team is the most involved in the most overs?
In the first 5. It's got to be a team I've been playing, right? That we've been playing.
I got the sheet up right here. I want you to say a name and I want you to see if it comes to script.
Yeah, what you got?
Give me a name. Give me somebody.
You a pitcher or a team?
Give me a team. That's the most over.
Cleveland Guardians.
Jeez.
No?
In the negative.
In the negative.
In the negative.
What rank were they?
All right, let's do it like this. Oh, they're so far down. The most over. Let's do it like this. The most over. And it usually works out like this because of bad pitching. Texas Rangers.
Oh, they've scored the most, or
they've been involved in the most. So remember how I used to peg these dead over hockey teams, right?
Mm-hmm.
Same situation as this, right? So regardless if they do it or the team that they're partying with, they get together with somebody, they're gonna do it. It don't matter what it is. The situation works out, and that's the way it works out is for the Rangers. All right, and real quick, just to massage your curiosity, the most under. So you would think the most under team, if you play dead under on this team,
and this is just first 5, right?
Yeah, if you play first 5 dead under on with this team on every game, you would be up 13.75 units year to date. How much bread would that be? Depend on how much you played, of course.
That's Miami right there. Miami Marlins, I bet you.
You think that's Miami?
Yeah.
Miami is not even in the positive in either category. That is your supposedly hot shot Los Angeles Angels.
So in the first 5, they're a dead under team.
They're a dead under team, brother.
So that's be one of those that you would fade. You would be like, okay, as long as Ohtani's not on the mound, you take your chances on the first 5 again with whoever they're playing.
Right. So the opposite side, if you bet them for the over, you would be under 27 units year to date. So you would be so far under, you'd be pawning your house right at that point.
Right.
Your top 5 teams in your over, because I know that's all you care about is the over. Here's your top 5 teams. Number 1, already aforementioned Texas Rangers. Number 2, close but no cigar, different division. Philadelphia Phillies, same division here. Washington Nationals in number 3.
Huh, that's interesting.
Yep. Number 4 is your Milwaukee Brewers. And then way behind. So actually, you know what? It's just the top 4. There's no need to even mention anybody else. If you played those guys dead over first 5 all year, you would be up in cash. You'd be smiling at yourself. But you
and so that would be
yourself because you probably wouldn't have played all games, because I even didn't do that.
Yeah. So that would be one of those. Remember, we were talking the other day. We were talking about I don't remember who Philly was playing. I don't remember who Philly was playing, but I was like, ooh, they kind of scare me a little bit with that pitcher. I think they had Suarez on the mound against I wish I remember who it was. Atlanta. Fried, wasn't it? Wasn't it Fried and Suarez? I think it was Fried and Suarez actually.
Yeah.
And so that would be one of my plays, and that was a play that we didn't do due to the fact that I was a little sketch on Philly, because I would have took Atlanta, and then I had to look at it and I was like, yeah. But then this would point to, if they're number 2 in the over, meaning over their team totals in the first 5, then that's another reason to kind of shy away from any team against Philly at that point.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So, I mean, and there's not even, if you would have rolled the opposite side, the underside, there's only 2 teams that you would have made money on. So that also tells the people a lot, because it's far and in between. So you got to pick some good ones on there. There's no real heavy trends, for or against. Really, it's kind of like like a hodgepodge. So, and that's with the total. And of course, you already talked about, first 5 run line and that kind of thing too. So there's a lot out there, man, when you're doing that. When it's NFL, it's like, there's so many props that they try to set you up with, and they make available some that, depending on what your outs are with FanDuel and all of this, is all kind of different things. I'm not even going to get on the state of Washington. They already know where we stand with the show, us and them. They already know what footing they're on with us. And so it is what it is. We take the outs we get, and then it's lines and sides, basically some light props, and that's what it is. And I think, like you said, we was rocking for first part of September, and coming out of the summer, we went into, kicked in once football come around, that kind of motivates you a little bit.
Yeah.
The anonymous collegiate homie.
The anonymous collegiate homie is back. And the best part about the anonymous collegiate homie gets it rolling. And you got the first 5 homie right here. Stix, your first 5 homie. we're still working on the combination of our combined NFL homies.
NFL
but
is
yeah,
what it is.
but the nice thing about that homie is you getting that college football in there, and then you only got a month until the anonymous hockey homie is back, brother.
Jeez, come on, let's go.
What
else? The S is gonna be in everybody's face this year. You're gonna hear about this. These boys is coming. 8 tentacles all in your mouth.
And we're gonna fire it up right away instead of waiting through the season, because I know anonymous hockey homie is gonna be watching that preseason action, ready to rock and roll on ice, and he'll be in prime time form by puck drop number 1.
Get your popcorn ready.
Well, when the unemployed Stix homie over here quits fucking around and gets a job, we'll be making a trip to Vegas to watch the Knights and the Kraken, because our boy Aaron Jones already, we've already called that out last year. We were talking about doing that shit. So,
yes, sir. Yeah. Hey, and plus I was standing all outside there. I know what the business is. I'm exactly where they at. You know what I mean? Hey, well, I'm telling you, we still need to do one of those 2 steps. And we got to arrange one of those proper 2 steps where it's a hockey football situation back to back, either here or in Vegas, man. Yeah. One of those. We got to get that popping one time, man. I'm telling you. But
you got anything else on the gambling world? Like, I know you referenced that we need to, well, other than the fact that Washington State needs to quit fucking around.
Yeah, man.
The fuck out.
The NFL, like you said, you talked about NFL and NFL plan and getting to the counter is just so hard because it's just what it is. It's a storyline every week. Imagine trying to put money down on the WWE. Okay, with information. What information do you have on a plot line? Okay. And this is how you have to feel sometimes as an NFL fan. You can consume so much information, and now the next level of information is analytics, right? So now you're coming up with a power ranking, right? At home, scribbling down little strips of paper so you can go to the counter with some money and hope to, get yourself together, get right. And so if you can come up with power rankings, do any information you can, it's weather reports. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Hey, wind. Hey, get your under field goals, under 3.5 field goals together. Get your 3.5 field goal money together.
Over 3.5 field goal money. If it's coming out of my mouth, it's over 3.5 field goal money. It's under 3.5 field goal money when you have a actual brain like the anonymous big homie who actually understands what's going on and just don't get hyped up by me just thinking oh I fucking around a lot on that shit sometimes.
Instead of going to London or whatever in 2 weeks, if they had a game down there in Puerto Rico where a hurricane is and it's hurricane force winds, this fool is still sitting up here talking about over 3.5 field goals. Book it.
Yeah, it's gonna be an under game, so you have to hit the over 3.5 field goals.
What? Oh yeah. Okay.
Unless you're a college kicker trying to kick, they're definitely under 3.5 field goals in any college game.
Hash marks too wide.
Yeah. Anything else you got on that?
No, man. Hey, look, that's insights you need, man. Hey, look, we was gonna kick y'all with a fantasy football update, but I think we should just hold it for next time, man. We should just hold it for next time, sure. Man.
Yep.
And give it to them and spend some time on it and really dive in, because by then, you know what I'm saying, we will have a nice set of games in the books, at least 4 games across the board for everybody, a piece of the season. And we can really say, I can't tell you that the anonymous big homie with a miraculous comeback is now 2-0.
2-0 with that. Was it another 3.5 win for you this week too?
Yeah. Week 1, amazing, bro. I needed 100 points. Okay. How can you need 100 points going into Monday? That's just not a thing. Okay. Wait a minute. Actually, no, it was going into Sunday night. Yeah. Good old Stephon Diggs, bro.
Oh, and we went off.
Stephon Diggs, and then Jalen Hurts. Yeah, that was the 100 points I needed. Okay, yes. And then I didn't even have nobody else sitting week two. Going against. I can't even remember. Might have been the boss's wife. Okay. They only needed 3 points to take the big homie out. I'm just sitting there. Projection is just like, oh, projected to be tied. What? Projected to be tied? The 3 points never came. Win to the homie. Dubs.
There you go. Hey, I got my first win, 1-1.
Hey.
Hey, and you know how I do. I always start off a little slow. I'll make that comeback just like I did last year.